8 weeks since my surgery, and for the past 2 weeks, I've had a lot of wins. Um, I've had a couple of challenges, but I've definitely had a lot of wins, and so I'm here for that. Um, One of the huge wins that I've had this past week is finally getting the results and getting my treatment plan. So a week ago today, um, I started my 5 year oral chemotherapy, or there's so many terms for it. Um, Hormone blockers, oral chemo. There's another term, and I don't really know how to pronounce it. But anyway, um, I started that a week ago today. It's a small pill I take once a day. I take it at night before bed. Um, I do not have to do traditional chemotherapy, and beyond ecstatic and thrilled about that. And everybody's like, "Yay, you get to keep your hair." And I'm like, I get to keep my sanity. Yes, I get to keep my hair too, and I am very much happy about that. But more importantly, I get to keep my sanity. Um, I am dealing with the side effects, or some side effects, from this oral chemotherapy. I have extreme fatigue, and it really started to hit me probably more so over the past 2 or 3 days. Um, and today I'm dealing with nausea. So um, I'm gonna basically be keeping ginger on me and nausea, anti-nausea meds on me all the time. Um, some of the side effects of this drug that I have to take is I get the honors of experiencing menopause again. 14 years ago, I went into medically induced menopause because I had to have a complete hysterectomy due to reproductive cancer. So I already know what that ride feels like. And on one hand, it's like, man, that sucks that I have to experience it again. But I've been reading a lot of people's posts on some of the um, breast cancer survivor groups that I'm on, and for women who've never experienced it before, the struggle is super real for them. So they don't even know what to do, where to start, how to alleviate some of the pain and some of the symptoms and discomfort. And because I've already been down that road, and I've learned a lot about what triggers hot flashes for me, what causes night sweats. Um, I'm already an avid exerciser and things like that. I feel like I have a little bit of an advantage that I have to push through. I've got to get through the fatigue and the exhaustion and the nausea. I have to fight through that. That's not something that I experienced in the past with menopause. But I think I'll just take it one day at a time and listen to my body and do what I can. The good news is that it's irreversible. Whether or not I'm going to be in menopause for the whole 5 years, I don't know. Am I going to be in menopause for a year after or 6 months, whenever, however long my body takes to get adjusted? That I won't know. I'll have to kind of deal with that as it comes. But it is irreversible. So once I actually come off of these drugs, that menopause will go away within 2 weeks. The irreversible effects are bone loss. So I had a bone density scan this week, and I will know in a couple of days what the results are of that. I was already taking calcium supplements, but I'm now on a specific recommended dose, and depending on what my test results show, I'll either stay on that or they'll have to put me on something a little stronger. Um, because we are very much concerned about extreme bone loss through this process. The good news is that I'm also a weightlifter, and as long as I continue to do weight bearing stuff, um, I can hopefully prevent bone loss. So, anyway, I say all that to say it's still a win. I don't have to have a chemo port, and I don't have to have that stuff pumping through my veins, and I don't have to deal with either extreme weight gain or weight loss. I don't have to deal with some of the extreme side effects from that chemotherapy, but I do still have to deal with bone and joint pain, and I still have to deal with nausea and extreme exhaustion and hot flashes and night sweats and being extremely cold in the middle of summer. And I could still potentially deal with hair thinning or hair loss, but these are all potential, and everybody's side effects are different. So that's where we are right now with that. Physical therapy is going very well. Your girl can raise her hands up over her head now. Um, Still working on 100% range of motion. I want to say I'm about 85%, and that is a win. Very happy about that. Very, very happy about that. Um, I will continue to do post rehabilitation training and mobility training and core training, and now I can do some lower body stuff. Not a lot of lower body stuff, but some. And when I'm able to do it and I'm not so nauseous and feeling weak, and I can either go down to the fitness center downstairs or drive to the gym, I will. And then, of course, if I'm feeling up to going for a walk or getting in the pool, I will. But I'm really trying to listen to my body. Um, so now I can go to the breast surgeon next week, or the reconstructive doctor anyway, and we can talk about a plan. I'm probably about 2 or 3 fills away from being um, at the ideal size, or at least as close back to the size that I used to be. And so I'm going to go ahead and try to schedule those fills in advance, and also schedule my next surgery, which will probably happen in the early fall, so September, October timeframe. And then we work on more healing and recovery from that. I am in therapy every other week, and we are working through my triggers. We're working through the things that are triggering for me, that will probably be triggering to me for a while. And I am learning how to navigate through not just my patients, but the patients of other people, and accepting people for who they are and things for what they are. Um, Lastly, a lot of people have been asking me, like, how did the doctor get to the conclusion of no chemo or traditional chemotherapy? And it was not easy. I had a very complex, had a very, very complex case. He called it the gray area. And so even though I had a reoccurrence score, or oncotype score of 24, and typically that score would mean that they would recommend chemotherapy, and the distance reoccurrence within a 9-year time was like 10%. Because I had a hysterectomy already, my range is as if I'm already 50 years old, even though I'm not. I'm 43 years old, but 50 years and older, the score changes for me because I've already had a hysterectomy, and so long ago, and I'm already postmenopausal. The type of cancer that I have is actually estrogen and progesterone responsive. And basically, what that means is that this is a combination of probably the hormone replacement therapy that I did take when I had the hysterectomy, but also you still produce estrogen in your adrenal glands. And so by taking the oral chemotherapy, this should minimize and lower my risk of a reoccurrence, um, without taking me down the harsh road of the traditional chemotherapy. Had I not had a hysterectomy, the route from there, because I'm at an age where they could have suggested it, they probably would have recommended that I have my ovaries removed, and then the type of oral chemotherapy that they would have suggested would have been something for someone in a premenopausal state. So I guess it kind of sounds crazy to say, but what saved me from potentially going down this road um, was the fact that I did have my hysterectomy so long ago, and it lowered my risk, like very, very low. Um, so I'm just really happy to finally know where I'm at with everything, and I'm happy to now be able to kind of plan and prepare as much as I can to the best of my ability. It was nerve wracking sitting and waiting and not being able to make any plans or do anything or know what's next. As far as going back to work, that's still going to be a minute. I have to get this fatigue and exhaustion under control, but I also going to have to recover from another surgery. Um, this journey is definitely a very, very interesting one. Um, anyway, I'm really excited about getting on the other side of this. I'm already thinking about what I want 2023 to look like, and some things that I would like to do physically, for myself. And more importantly, I'm excited about Nikki growing through this process. We're going to keep her in a protective hairstyle through this journey and let her grow and flourish. And I'm going to protect my skin and protect my spirit and drink my water and do my meditating and follow doctor's orders. So, in the meantime, time to go get this work.